Welcome to Thinking Outside the Block. It's not just a TV show, but a different way of thinking. A way of thinking that allows us to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and self-employed. Join us as we walk in the shoes of those who are paving their own way to success. You always hear of the glory of business success. Now we give you the story, Thinking Outside the Blocks. This week on Thinking Outside the Blocks, we're joined by Carlton Lanier, a pillar in the Philadelphia community whose business is helping others. Mr. Lanier is the founder of the Freedom House, a support and recovery housing program that assists those battling addiction. From drugs, medical, and health-related issues, the Freedom House has emerged as a premier destination for those looking to rebuild their lives and get back on the road to recovery. Welcome to Thinking Outside the Blocks. I'm Jamil Worthy. I'm joined here this week with Carlton Lanier of the Freedom Houses. Carlton, welcome to the show. Carlton is the owner and operator of the Freedom Houses. Just before we get into everything, can we get a little bit about your background and how you got into the social services industry?
Well, actually, it happened accidentally, pretty much. Went to Frankfort High School, went to college out in West Virginia, been in the Navy few years, lieutenant in the penitentiary, just different odd jobs, doing engineering for the Coca-Cola Corporation, mechanical work for the Wawa Corporation. Came upon this house through a family member who actually owns the facility, owns the house, my cousin April, and she asked me to come in and try to fix it up because it was gutted out. Actually, this was Kobe Bryant's family's house.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I came in, contractor, and we put it together. And 8 months later, had my first person, and that happened accidentally because I seen the needs of the neighborhood, of the community, questions here, questionnaires, and things that I can help them with. And you seen the drugs, you seen the alcohol, you seen a lot of different things. And just started clicking.
What interests me in yourself and also the Freedom House is the fact that you came off real sincere. And I looked at how everyone responded to you. You had a relationship with all of your tenants here. Everybody knew you on a first name basis. You had definitely the respect of everybody, and everybody around seemed to love you. So I knew that you were doing something right, and I knew that was a little bit different from the normal institutionalized type of atmosphere. How do you gain that type of rapport with each person when you're running a whole organization like this? How do you manage to gain that type of relationship?
Well, I think first they have to see and feel your dedication, and they have to feel that it's real, and they know I'm real. So, and like I tell them, I'm no different than you. We're just in different situations at this point in our life. Wherever you think I am, you can get there. And I'm here to help you get there. I'm here 15, 16 hours a day. And I love it. And I love to see the progress. I love to solve the problems. And they know I'm here for them. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right.
And it's the total trust factor that I think allows us to be how we are. That's just what I think. And, at some point, maybe you can ask one of them.
Okay. What separates you or separates your program? What would you say separates your program from other programs in the city or abroad?
That's a pretty tough one there. I would say just the dedication and the time spent, the attention that's given to each individual that's in my program. I know every man, every woman. I know their medication. I know. I can look at the guy and think and tell you he's having some kind of diabetic issues or whatever. I can talk to him and tell that there is something wrong, something not right.
Okay.
So I can really read the writing on the wall just because of the time that I spend with each individual.
Right. Now, in my research, I found out that you do accept what's considered double diagnosis clients. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that entails?
Well, it's basically dual diagnosed, actually, which is the same as double diagnosed, but it's dual diagnosed, and that means mental health and drug and alcohol.
Okay.
You know, we get them both from all the hospitals, from Belmont to St. Joe's to Eagleville, outside the city, Delaware, Baltimore, New Jersey. They call all the time. This is a good referral for them because they trust my program.
Okay. Now, the first time that I met you was at a cookout that you had not too long ago, the first annual Freedom House cookout, and I will say I had a blast. Definitely. It was a lot of people here, lots of food, lots of fun. What I noticed was, you know, everyone in the surrounding area actually came out. We had a marching band. It was a real good time. As far as the actual community, you know, it seems like the community is a part of this program, not just the actual residents, but the actual community. And I was hearing that this is a place where people can go for help in general, not just people who have some sort of addiction or some sort of clinical problem. Can you speak a little bit to that? You know, what you're also doing for the community itself.
Well, you know, I feel very strong about the community aspect of it because, you know, this community allows me to be here. That's first and foremost. And I let them know that I appreciate them allowing me to be here. And the way that I give back also, not just to my consumers that live in my facilities, but to the community. They have to be involved in this recovery process because one thing I do believe that people in this community have the same problems. Some people have the same problems that the guys are having here. And they know, and it has happened on numerous occasions, they know they can come knock on this door and say, Carlton, you think you can help me with this?
Right.
And when you do interview other people, you know, which I do hope you do, they'll tell you that. They'll tell you that I'm here for everybody. It don't matter who. They talk about me, they cuss me out, they did everything. But you know what? That same person asked me for something, one thing or another.
Right.
And yesterday happened, that's over.
Right.
We go again today.
And that's important to move on.
That's right.
We would like to take a moment to recognize the contribution of Local 542 for providing opportunities for working men and women in the building and construction industry and educating workers on the benefits of union membership and collective bargaining for better work conditions.
What does purity mean to you?
Becoming pure, getting a cleansing.
A cleansing from where?
Cleansing from drugs and alcohol, a cleansing from my past, a cleansing from mental illness, a renewing of my mind.
Cleansing, purity.
Cleansing.
Your hands, your feet, your hair. Cleansing what?
Cleansing of my spirit,
Oh.
my mindset, old habits.
What kind of habits?
Old habits as far as my anger management, which will lead up to me using possibly, frequenting the old neighborhoods, what have you. Old habits of self-centeredness.
Self-centeredness meaning what?
Self-centeredness meaning deviating from things I know that I should do.
Wanting to do it your way opposed to doing it the right way.
Right.
Purity is get to know everybody here in the household. And
Opposed to before you didn't want to get to know them.
yeah, I wanted to get to know them and do things around the house.
Like you, purity so far as the addiction.
As far as my addiction, keeping it intact.
Keeping what intact?
About my addiction.
How you keep your addiction intact, Jordan?
I mean,
You that powerful that you gonna keep your addiction intact?
no.
Oh. So where you gonna get your help from?
From the program I go to,
The program, the ladies.
yeah, and the ladies and all. That's what I do.
Tracy, how does it feel to actually come back and reach back and help people who had some of the same situations that you had in the past and be able to help them and be a living example of what you can do and that you can move on? I mean, how does that feel? A lot of people don't do that.
I don't know whether to say it's a feeling, but I had no idea in my mind that, first of all, I would come back. You know, I see a lot of people, meet a lot of people, and I always wondered, well, how did they wind up going back to the place where they actually did the drugs? They almost was murdered. I just believe that I was sent back. I didn't know I was going to be sent back. And, you know, before my addiction, during my addiction, in it, and afterwards, I just believe that it was God's divine intervention where people that knew me, you know, in those different facets, that they would be able to see that, you know, that it was something greater than me that orchestrated it all. You know what I think? When the women and men go through issues, that I have an exact point of reference to say from my experience, not something that I've read in a book. I can tell you from my experience, I went through that, and this is now. So it's unbelievable. You know, sometimes word can't even express that, you know, you have something on the inside of you, boy, and it's the seed. There was a tree and you don't know, and then you like, bam, and you can give it to them, and then to see them be able to maintain it. Oh, then they believe it, right. You know, and they run with it, you know, and they know it's real, you know, and then they surmount, and then they go through this, and they come out and go through that. It's a phenomenal. I'm lost now, you know, but it's wonderful to know that after you've been strengthened and changed, that you even have the willingness to want to reach down, because that's what happened to me. You know, I was picked up and I was given all of this knowledge and knowledge and experience, and come on, you know. So
right. We just want to say that we appreciate what you're doing. We want to recognize you. You know, in Thinking Outside the Blocks, we like to give exposure to people who are the true pillars of society. It's not always the LeBron James. It's not always the Barack Obama. It's not always the Bill Gates. But it's people like Tracy that actually keep us going. And we just want to give you an opportunity to speak your piece and let people know what you're doing on a day-to-day. And we like to say we thank you and we appreciate what you're doing in the community.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right.
In this week's segment of Looking Back to Look Forward, we highlight the career of George Eastman, the man behind the famous brand Kodak. George Eastman was the man who reduced photography to a simple process, making it accessible to everyone. Before Eastman came on the scene, photography was a domain of only a small number of specialists who could understand and maneuver the technical machinery necessary to make a small picture. Eastman began his path with photography as a casual hobby. He soon became obsessed with the picture-making process he read about in a British magazine. He took the idea, perfected it, and in 1880, after 3 years of experimentation, patented the process and prepared his venture for mass production. His mission was to make the camera as convenient as the pencil. In 1888, the first Kodak camera was released and became an instant sensation. As a manager, Eastman was loved by those who worked for him. In 1919, he gave a third of his company holdings worth $10 million to all of his employees. Eastman captured a turning point in history. New and technically complex inventions like the telephone, electric lights, and many others changed daily living forever. George Eastman died March 14, 1932, at the age of 77. He will always be remembered as the man who allowed us to catch priceless memories in a moment.
Welcome back to Thinking Outside the Blocks. In terms of addiction, when most people think of addiction, they think of alcohol or some type of drug. Mm-hmm. What other types of addictions are there, and how would you treat them? How would you assess them?
Well, first of all, there are numerous amount of addictions, from sex addiction to eating disorder, eating addiction. Something that you don't even realize is an addictive behavior, and most of us do have addictive behaviors, but a lot of us don't act out on or realize it. You can be addicted to clothes. You can be addicted to movies. You can be addicted to so many things. But one thing that I think I learned in this process of dealing with our guys is you're not going to get the help that you need until you're absolutely ready. Especially in alcohol and drugs. You're not going to do anything not unless you're absolutely ready. Because nobody can make you go get clean and sober. Nobody can force you to go get clean and sober. You have to be ready to get clean and sober. God has to take the taste out of your mouth for alcohol. God has to take the desire of drugs away from you. But you have to be ready. You can't just combat it when you're ready, when you think your mom or your dad or a family member is going to come and say, it's time for you to get clean. You're not going to get clean until you're ready.
Okay, that makes sense. But once you are ready and you know within yourself that you do need help, you can come to the Freedom House and say, okay, I'm ready. I do need help, and I'm giving myself to you to take me over and help me out with that.
And once you do something like that, we'll take over from there. We'll get you the help you need. The outpatients, the medical attention, the nourishment you need. Once you get through that, whatever you desire to do, we will help you do.
Okay. That's a beautiful thing. And that you're in a good business, I should say, when it's really helping people, period. It's not, I don't even look at it, you're in the business of help.
Exactly.
Now, how do you assess people when they come in? Is there certain forms they have to fill out? Is it whoever brings them here? Do you have to pre-qualify them for certain types of treatment? How do you go about assessing?
Well, it's simple. You come to you knock on the Freedom House Incorporated door and you ask for help. You will get help. You come to the Freedom House's door and you say, how can you help me? I will sit you down. I will interview you. I will see where you are, what your problem is, how did you get there, and let you tell me what can we do to help you. And once you go through that, then we start on our way. You'll go to our outpatients. We go to Sixers games. We do activities. We do everything. Right. It's whatever you need in order to get your life back on track and get your personal development back going. Because once your personal development gets going again, here comes the confidence.
Right.
Here comes the you that you lost.
Okay.
And now you got you back.
Right. Now
So-
I hear some. I'm sorry, let me cut you off. I hear, some horror stories about certain facilities that are overpopulated. The conditions are less than satisfactory. But I noticed here, like I commented earlier, and I saw some photos on the wall of some of your residents with birthday parties. Everybody looked happy and so forth. And that's not something that I thought about coming in, to interview you. The actual personal aspect and them having birthday parties and feeling good about themselves while they're being treated, while they're going through this tough time. They can also come here and feel like somebody, feel like they are appreciated, and that they can have a good time also, as well as being treated. I just wanted to say that. Now, how long normally, is there an average amount of time that someone stays here? Is it on an individual basis, or how does that work?
Well, I don't put a time frame on it. I do
Okay.
not put a time frame on a person's recovery. I just don't do that, because you have alcoholics and addicts that have been drinking for 25 years,
Okay.
30 years, 15 years. So how can I say you only can stay here 6 months, and they may not have gotten what they came here for? You leave when you're ready. When you get this thing, you know when you got it. You know when you ran this course. You know when you stepped down from outpatient. You know when you're giving back, when you helping the newcomer that comes in. You know that you have, like they say out there, your swagger back.
Okay.
You know it. And then that's when you leave.
Okay.
And most of them come back and say, how you doing, Carlton? I'm doing okay.
Right. And I know that's a good feeling, because you're helping give people their lives back, and that's very important.
That's the payoff when you get the men and women come to the block party, or just come over here. Hey, Carlton, I'm going to a meeting tonight. You got a couple guys that need to come. Carlton, why don't you let me come speak, at your house tonight, or at your woman's house, or wherever. Oh, I got clothes. I got donations for you, Carlton. Here, maybe some of you guys can fit this. That is what, and those guys that say that been in my program, or those women who say that been in my program, and that's what make me feel real good.
Right. That's got to be a great feeling to have people graduate from your program and be willing to come back and share their stories and whatever resources they have to help the people that's coming behind them.
Exactly.
So that's definitely a beautiful thing.
It is. It really is. It is, and it's gratifying, because they show the gratitude that they didn't have when they first walked in this door.
That's beautiful.
They showing the maturity that they had walking in this door, but couldn't live it. So now they're living it, and they're giving back, and that's what it's about.
Carlton, it was great having you on the show. Normally, we have different business owners on marketing their products and their services, but this was a little different. This was more heartfelt. This was about being in the business of helping people. And we just want you to know, I think, outside of the blocks, that we do appreciate what you do. We want to recognize you, and we want everyone to know that if you do have some of these challenges that we spoke of today, some sort of addiction, that the Freedom House is a great place to be. It has a great reputation. And where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on 4166 Leidy Avenue, that's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19104. I can be contacted at my office at 215-921-4958, my cell 267-230-0889, and my email address is Lanier, Lanier, Carlton, Carlton, at ymail.com.
Carlton, thanks again.
Thank you.
This is Carlton Lanier from the Freedom House, and I'm Jamil Worthy, and this is Thinking Outside the Box.
We would like to take a moment to recognize the contribution of Local 542 for providing opportunities for working men and women in the building and construction industry and educating workers on the benefits of union membership and collective bargaining for better work conditions.
So, and like I tell them, you know, I'm no different than you. We're just in different situations at this point in our life. You know, wherever you think I am, you can get there. And I'm here to help you get there. Especially in alcohol and drugs. You're not going to do anything not unless you're absolutely ready. Because nobody can make you go get clean and sober. Nobody can force you to go get clean and sober. You have to be ready to get clean and sober